It starts small, but suddenly it turns into a full argument. Afterwards, you are left thinking, how did it escalate this quickly? Because it wasn't just about that moment, but somehow it became everything. And this is what I see all the time. People think that the problem is what they are arguing about, but most often it's not the topic. It's what happens in the moment when something starts to feel off, and often people don't notice that. Arguments rarely start where we think they do. Often it's something very small, a tone, a look, something slightly different, and you feel it immediately. That moment is where the shift happens, and it happens so quickly that you don't even have time to register it. And instead of staying in that feeling, you will react to it. You might explain more, try to make it clearer, say it again, slightly differently, not to argue, just to fix it. On the other side, that can feel like pressure, so they react too. They go quieter, defensive, or pull back, and now something small starts to grow. And at this point, you are no longer responding to the situation. You are responding to each other's reactions. The other is trying to feel understood. The other is trying not to feel overwhelmed. And both of those make sense, but they are moving in opposite directions. The more one pushes, the other pulls away, and the gap gets bigger. For example, one person might say, "You didn't reply earlier." Sounds simple, right? But underneath it, it might mean that I felt ignored. The other person hears, "I've done something wrong." So they respond, "I was just busy." Now the first person feels dismissed. So they say more, push a bit harder. So the other one now pulls back more. And suddenly, it's not about that message anymore. It's about how each person felt in that moment. And this is the part that often gets missed. It looks like the argument is about that situation, but underneath it, it usually is something else. Not feeling heard, feeling dismissed, and feeling like you don't matter. And on the other side, feeling criticized, feeling like you never get it right, or feeling overwhelmed. None of that is said directly, but it's what drives the reaction. And that's why it feels bigger than the situation. What changes conflict is what you do in that moment when the reaction starts. For example, if you feel misunderstood, instead of saying more and explain yourself, slow it down and say one thing clearly. Or you feel the urge to defend yourself, but instead of reacting immediately, you pause and you listen first. These are small shifts, but they can change the direction of the interaction. Of course, the difficult part here is that these moments don't feel calm. They are fast, intense, and your body is already reacting. So doing something different in that moment doesn't feel natural. It feels like going against something automatic. And that's why this takes a lot of practice. Conflict isn't about the argument itself. It's what happens inside it, in those small moments when something shifts. And when you start to respond differently, that's when things begin to change. Because the argument is just the surface. What's underneath it is what drives it.